Okay, so this is lesson 3.02, Information Superhighway. So this lesson is about describing networked computer functions, identifying the parts of a URL, applying Boolean logic to narrow internet searches, and distinguish between search boxes and address boxes. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice when you go here to the Learn section is this does not work. If I click on this, it may work on your computers, but if I do it, I keep getting some kind of error message and telling me that my computer can't load it. So this tab is trying to teach you about navigating the web. So I'm just going to do a quick little demonstration. So I'm going to hit this to open a new tab on my internet browser. I use Google Chrome. So it takes me to my default page, which takes me to the Google search engine. This is a search bar where I type in a search term or a URL. I can also do the same thing here. This is typically where you type in a URL. So say I wanted to go to Amazon.com. I could just type in www.amazon.com. Okay, that is the URL address. All right. Let me just click on Amazon and go to their link. So notice when I go here, here is the part of the URL. Now I didn't type in HTTPS. This part of the URL address is called a internet protocol. Okay. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That is just rules on how internet sites are reached and searched for and called. Then the S actually stands for secure. That means that it is supposed to be secure from people hacking in and getting your personal information. The www stands for World Wide Web. Amazon is the actual domain name of the website. And then sometimes you'll actually see something like this, a /, and you'll see other things there. It may say shoes, and then you'll see some other things. So this is actually a page name that you see next, and then you might see something like HTM, and that is cannot remember that term right this second. So we will come back to that part. I apologize. I'm drawing a blank on that one. But it'll make sense when I show you another part of the demonstration. Okay, so did not mean to click on that, but hey, we can look at Echo Dot if y'all want. Another part I wanted to show you of a web page is down here. It's actually part of your computer on your taskbar. You can see where I'm pointing with the mouse. You have a symbol. It may look different on different devices, but this lets you know if you're connected to your internet service provider or ISP. Just basically lets you know you have connectivity to the internet. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close that tab and I'm going to go back to this. Now, if I go to the next tab, which is searches, then you have a linked document here that you can click on. This one works. I'll show you. I click on it, I open it up. Then it will tell you more about Boolean operators. So you'll need to go read that on your own. And it tells you also about Google and how Boolean operators work differently on Google search engines. So also click on that. This summarizes everything for you again. Okay. So when you go to try it, when you click on this hyperlink, it's going to take you here. Now I have already allowed my Flash player to be enabled. Okay, so you may get a warning message that pops up about Flash Player when you go to this link. So it gives you a link with directions on how you can load Flash Player on your computer. I just don't know if your school system will allow you to do that or not. So another thing they said you could do is go right here to this lock button. When you click that, this pops up And you can go right here and make sure you turn Flash on Allow. Okay. I did that on mine, and that's what enabled mine to work. After you do that, you're going to have to hit the refresh button, which is also something I was going to go over with you when I was demoing what a website looks like and the search bar and the URL address. So this is your refresh button. So if a page doesn't load or if it freezes up, you can click the X that's here or the refresh, and that will restart the page. I think you all know what the back button is. You can click this to go back and see a previous web page you viewed. And if I do go back, then I can use the forward button to go back forward. You also need to know this little scroll bar over here. If I can't see the entire web page, that I can click and move this around. The reason I'm showing you all this is we're going to see this in our little quiz that we're taking here for this skills check. So you do not have to do this yourself if Flash Player does not load for you. So I will just demonstrate it for you real quick. Okay, so I'll do it and you can watch along with me. So we have to click on the URL pieces and arrange them in the correct order. Okay, so this is going to be the first part of our address. This is that internet protocol. This is the last part of our address. And something's missing. There's supposed to be something that goes here in the middle. So that didn't work right. Let me refresh my page. See if we can get this to load this time. Okay, now I see it down here. It was hiding down here from me. Okay, so again, I'm going to put this. This is the first part of the URL address. It's got the internet protocol and the www dot. Then this is our domain name and server. And this is the part that tells us where our pages are located. Okay, so this is where we have to match the different parts of the URL that identify them. So the server name, including the top level domain, that's what goes right here in the middle. Okay, so the server name and the top level domain, that's the .com part, that's your domain. The server name is Coca-Cola because that's the web site's name. The web protocol is this HTTP www. Remember, if it has the S behind the P, it means it's secure. And then the web page folder name and extension. That's what I couldn't remember earlier when I was showing you. The HTM part is the extension. So I apologize for my lapse in memory there. Okay, so on to this. Now I'm taking these yellow X's and I'm matching the part of the page that they're identifying with these definitions over here. So this first one says this icon indicates that your browser is connected to your ISP. So remember I showed you that earlier, that shows whether you have internet connectivity or not. So we're going to drag that there. This is where you enter the URL. So we talked about that in the demonstration earlier. It goes right here on this line. And you use this button to retrace your path through a series of pages. So if we needed to go back and look at previous pages, we would hit that back arrow button. Okay. So let's look at these X's and what they're identifying. So this says use this button to see the rest of the page. Remember I showed you earlier this scroll bar here will allow us to see the entire page if it is not all visible on our screen at the same time. If I want to see the next page, so if I had to back up a page, I want to return or go forward, I can use that forward button. If a web page takes too long to load, click this button. Remember I showed you earlier, that's right here, that refresh button. And then this displays the web page title. That I don't think I showed you, but that is right here across the top of your page. Okay, we didn't talk about email either. You all have sent me several emails by now, so hopefully you know everything on this page, but let's go through it. So we have this definition that says response to the original email. So if I send you an email and you're replying to me, that's what you're looking at. So the part where you reply, the message that you're typing in to someone else, that goes right here. That shows up at the top. That's the most recent thing you're doing. The most recent activity is always at the top. Menus and toolbar buttons. You see those all up here. Okay, so that is this X, pointing to the menus and toolbar buttons. The text of the original email is right here, and this big clue right here tells you original message. So this is what someone sent you, and you're replying to them here. Your email message header is right here. That's the title of the email, who it's from, who it's going to. The header contains all of that information. Okay, so good. We got 17 out of 17. If you do have Flash Player and it lets you do this on your own, you can skip over this part of the video and you're allowed to keep retrying until you get 17 out of 17 just to make sure you're familiar with it. So I apologize that that part of the lesson was not working. Let me get back here. Okay. So hopefully I've given you all the information that you're going to need to do the task. So we've already completed Try It. That's where the skills check 3 was. Okay. So the task. So you have a summary here that's going to review some of the information that we learned in this lesson. And then you can go on to the task. There's only one for lesson 3.02. And it just wants you to conduct an internet search. So you're going to search this, Tim Berners-Lee. That is the search term you're going to type in to any search engine you prefer. Again, like I said, I always use Google, but you're welcome to use Bing or Yahoo, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, then you're going to go to this link and open this worksheet. It's going to have these same questions right here for you to answer on the worksheet in regards to your search for Tim Berners-Lee. If for some reason you do not have a search engine that you're allowed to use at school, if they're blocked, then this is why you have this option. Alabama Virtual Library is usually not blocked by any school computer labs. I don't think any of you have had a problem with that so far. You've been able to complete assignments and do the research papers for lesson 2, so I believe that you're able to use a search engine. Okay, as always, if you have any questions about this lesson, please email me and let me know so I can try to clarify it for you. The only submission you have to do for lesson 3.02 is this completed worksheet after you conduct your search to answer the questions about it. So make sure you upload that to the correct Dropbox. Hope y'all have a good night. Thank you.